How about we pick a fucking lane? What's up, guys? How's it going? Man, I'm excited to be back on the bike. It's been a long fucking 2 weeks, guys. It's been exactly 2 weeks since I put out my last video, and exactly 2 weeks since I've been on this bike. And first and foremost, in the last 2 weeks, you guys are still subscribing to my channel, even though I haven't been putting anything out. So the first thing I would do is just say thank you to you guys. It truly means a lot that you guys are supporting me, and almost to 1,000 subscribers. Like, I never thought in a million years I'd be at 1,000. 1,000 people. That's insane. But I am obviously bearing the elements today so I can make a video for you guys. I got my trusty Pilot Road 4s on, so they're a great wet weather tires, so I'm not too worried. I got some errands to run anyway, but wanted to make a vlog as well. So like I said, been a fucking crazy past 2 weeks. Bree and I have been doing just non-stop wedding planning. There's just so much shit going on. Work's been fucking crazy. I've been working on this like $700,000, $800,000 deal for the past 2 weeks. Finally got done, finally got funded. Made my boss pretty happy. Alright, the tornado sirens are going off, and it's technically not noon yet. It's like 10 till, and we've had some bad storms going through the area, so I'm just gonna, assume that that's the noon test. So yeah, it's been fucking crazy. And on top of all the craziness, my car's been in the shop, and I haven't been taking my bike to work lately, and when I get home, I'm just fucking exhausted and don't want to, like, do anything. But fuck, man, weddings are fucking expensive. Like, we got a budget that Bree's parents are graciously picking up the tab for, but shit just keeps fucking adding up. It's just absurd. And if we go over budget, that's our responsibility to pay for. And on top of that, Bree's actually going back to school for her second degree in nursing, and we're paying for her tuition in fucking cash. But then she's also not working, so I gotta withdraw more money out of my savings to make up for the lost income there. So I'm just like stressing the fuck out, man. I'm like betting on like wedding money to get me through the next like 6 or 7 months or so until May, when, come on Seagull, get the fuck out of the way, until Bree gets her full-time job as a nurse and starts making the good money. And it's just stressful seeing your fucking money go out the door like this, but it'll be made up one day. And then on top of that, I'm 25, she's 26, we're gonna want to get a house soon. All my friends are fucking getting married and getting houses. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, I can assure you one thing, I'm not fucking selling my motorcycle. That is one thing I am not compromising. I'm not selling the motorcycle for money for a house or for anything else. Because, I mean, listen, you gotta fucking enjoy life. I enjoy riding this bike. You can't just fucking give up the things you love doing just to get, a house. Yeah, compromises have to be made, but this is not one I'm willing to make. So I know the demographics of my subscribers and the people that watch my videos was more of like my age or a little younger than me. A lot of people that have been commenting on my channel, especially on my review of the Honda Rebel, were people that, are looking for a beginner bike and are kids like in, 16, 17, 18 years old. And so given my background in finance and, what I do for a living, I work in commercial lending, I just want to stress to you guys the importance of having a budget, especially if you're thinking about getting a bike. Because, you might see that cheap $2,000 bike on Craigslist. You're like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Fucking Buell Blast for, I don't know, $1,500. Great starter bike, whatever. But there's a lot more costs that go into a bike. I mean, you got to factor in, you got insurance premiums you're going to have every, month or 6 months, whatever you set up with your insurance company. And because you're young and you're on a motorcycle, your premiums aren't going to be exactly cheap. And then you got to factor in the maintenance costs, and then you're going to be riding this thing like fucking crazy, so you got to factor in the extra gas you're going to pay for it. Now, granted, if you're starting on a 250cc, your gas cost isn't going to be so crazy because, it's a 250. But then gear isn't really cheap either, so you got to factor in, the cost of a helmet. That's about $100 or a couple $100. A jacket's a couple $100. Gloves are, like $50 for a good set. maybe a little more. Boots are like $150, so you know it all fucking adds up. So your $1,500 bike adds up to maybe $2,500 in no time. And some of you are probably saying, you know, I'm young, you know, I have a part-time job, I don't have all the expenses. You know, I'm gonna tell you, start fucking early, budget early, save early, because you're gonna thank yourself in the long run. The only reason why I have like the nice things that I have, like I have a nice apartment, I have a nice motorcycle, I have 2 nice cars, is because I've budgeted well. I know what categories of spending to limit, I know what to limit them at, and truth is, if you're not keeping track of where your money is going, I mean, you might as well just start throwing fucking money out the door. Alright, what the fuck is going on here? You either are like driving in the road or you're not, but I'm just gonna like pass you because you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You get an estimated cost of what you want to finance a bike for, and you know, yeah, some people don't want to finance a bike because, oh, there's interest and all this other shit, but you know, financing isn't necessarily a bad thing. So like for me, you know, I wanted a nice bike like this, so I factored in, you know, how much our loan payment's gonna be to get a bike like this, and I budgeted accordingly. You know, I said, okay, I'm gonna spend less in this category, for example, and I'm gonna apply that towards a motorcycle payment so I can have an awesome bike. Also, I've been asked, you know, should I pay my bike for in cash or should I finance it? And you know, my answer to that is it depends. I mean, it really does. It's based on your personal cash flow situation. You know, how much cash are you bringing in from a job or whatever you do, and how much is going out the door. You know, if you can easily expense $2,000 for, you know, a used bike, then fucking do it, you know. But if cash is tight but you are set on getting a motorcycle, then maybe financing is the best option for you. Yeah, you're going to be paying interest on it, but you know, if you go like your local credit union, if you're young, you don't have credit, and I'll get to this other point here in a second, you know, maybe your parents will help you co-sign with you on it. Now, that may be a hurdle because maybe your parents don't want you getting a motorcycle in the first place. But, like, for example, like my first car, my dad co-signed me. Yeah, my rate was fucking outrageous, but after a year of actually having established payment history, I just got a refinance and fucking got another loan for like 7 percentage points cheaper. So it all depends on your cash flow situation. If you got the cash to pay for it, and you're not going to leave yourself dry after, you know, expending $2,000 or whatever the cost of your bike is, then pay cash for it. But, you know, you got to make sure you got, you know, cash sitting in the bank waiting for a rainy day. I mean, if you ever take a personal finance class, you're going to hear the importance of an emergency fund. You know, what fucking happens if you got medical bills that randomly come up, or you got some shit you randomly got to pay for? There's always a rainy day that's going to be out there, pun intended, because of, you know, the rainy day. So you got to make sure you don't leave yourself high and dry. Secondly, if you're also young and you don't have a credit card, get one. Alright, now the tornado sirens are on again, so something's going on here. Now, there is this notion that credit cards are the root of all fucking evil, and they can be if you are not careful and if you don't know how to use them. But the reason why I tell you to get a credit card, get like a student credit card that gives you like some small credit limit of like $500, is because you need to get established credit. You need to show these credit companies that, you know, you can make payments on time and establish that history, establish that relationship. Especially if you're thinking about getting financing for a bike or a car one day, or especially a house. So, like, what I first did when I got my first student credit card, had a $500 limit, I fucking paid gas with it, and then I paid it off right away. That's all I would do with it. I would never, and I still haven't to this day, I've never paid a dime in interest on a credit card. And the reason why credit cards get such a bad rap is because people will make a purchase on it, and simply they just won't pay their card off in full at the end of the month. So, for example, if I made a $100 purchase on a helmet, right? And then I only throw in the minimum payment of $25 when my statement comes due, that remaining $75 that's left gets charged interest, and that interest gets added on to what you already owe. And say you make the minimum payment the next month, right? That minimum payment is taking $25 off of the balance that you originally owed, plus the interest that has, there's a finance term, accrued, that's been added on so far. and then you get charged interest on that interest. So it just becomes this crazy downward spiral of money that you owe. And that's why people get in so much trouble with credit card debt. The finance term behind that is called capitalized interest. The interest accrues, it builds up, and then that interest gets capitalized or added onto the balance of what you owe, and then they charge interest of that balance, so you're basically getting charged interest on interest. It's shitty, but that's just how it works. So how do you avoid paying credit card interest? Well, it's quite simply, when your bill comes due and they say your balance is $100, then you pay them $100. If they say your minimum payment is $25, but your balance is $100, you pay the fucking $100. It's that simple, really. Anyway, guys, I love talking about personal finance, so I mean, I'm sorry to bore you with finance topics, but just because, you know, of the past 2 weeks with wedding and money and spending and everything been on my mind, you know, I just wanted to talk about it. So if you guys have any questions, you know, about money or investing or whatever the fuck, I mean, shit, that's what I went to school for, and that's what I do right now as a profession. So, you know, hit me up in the comments below. I'd be happy to help. Hope I didn't bore you too much. Once again, I just want to reiterate, I appreciate you guys still subscribing to my channel, even though I haven't put shit out for fucking 2 weeks. I just want to say thank you. That's an unmarked cop. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you a little bit. If it did, feel free to give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys later.